What's a low-key sign of low intelligence? They've never experienced that, therefore it must not be true. Thinking people speaking a second language imperfectly means the person is stupid. Lack of self-reflection, or awareness of the self, and the coordinating consequences of actions. Blindly believing gossip and rumors, especially about people they know, then treating them badly for it. Inability to see from another perspective. Believing anything they read on social media. Inability, refusal to change their mind when times, evidence, or variables change. Lack of curiosity. Thinking their opinion perspective is also everyone else's. Thinking no one does that because they don't do that. Attacking people instead of their arguments. Generally, I find people who brag about how smart they are pretty low on the smart bar. Using an anecdote to proclaim it's always like that. Rigid, black and white thinking without appreciation for nuance and individual differences. To add, people who think they know everything are generally pretty stupid. Smarter people will defer questions to qualified and experienced individuals because they are acutely aware of their own limitations. And that's what helps make them smart. They're not scared to admit they lack knowledge in certain topics or fields. And they will learn from that more experienced person to add to their library of knowledge and experience. Stupid people don't know they're stupid. They think they know everything, and won't seek out more experienced people and admit to their limitations. Admit they don't know fuck hell about certain things. Refusing to be wrong, ever. The only thing they are able to talk about is other people and their appearances. Relying on their right to an opinion or the opinions of others to support their beliefs rather than any actual logic or evidence. Closed-mindedness. Shouting people down hysterically due to the inability to comprehend other people having an opposing view. If your go-to comeback in any verbal scenario is to insult or threaten physical violence instead of using words, that's generally a good indication that you probably don't know very many of them. Self-proclaimed alphas. The inability to see things from another's perspective. Getting angry when presented with a problem instead of trying to find a solution. I mean, everyone gets frustrated when things go wrong. But I'm talking about the kind of people who choose to shout and swear and get red in the face when literally any sort of problem pops up. It goes past normal frustration and seems to be more about getting pissy that they have to think hard. Thinking you're incredibly intelligent. Edit to better put what I meant. I mean someone who cannot acknowledge their own overwhelming ignorance. Posting Quora-level questions on Reddit for karma. Mentioning their IQ. Thinking you're brilliant. Using a typo as ammunition in a disagreement. I mean these phones have small keyboards and I won't even get into autocorrect. Inability to handle a hypothetical. Resorting to personal insults when you're losing an argument. I feel like this same thread with different wording is being made like every day now. Are people just eager to feel like they're smart? Believing something because I saw a video on YouTube. When someone spells lose with 2 O's. Blaming everyone everything else. Reposting this thread every fucking day. Believing Trump was a good president and all of the charges against him are lies and fake. The inability to understand sarcasm. I think there was research on this. Never saying I don't understand or variations how does that work etc. When someone can't handle it when they are proven wrong. Especially when they respond by childish gestures like name-calling or trying to fight. Asking the same questions on this sub that have been asked 1,000 times before. Inability to process or engage with a generally true statement without rejecting it outright. Because me or because my friend or because insert person, you have 5 degrees of separation from cruelty. Inability to make connections BW people, ideas, etc. Complete lack of understanding of depth, nuance, or how to engage in civilized discourse. Being entirely baffled by the idea of people have different paths in life, traditions, cultures, religions, jobs, etc., and feeling superior when there is no reason to. Getting your news from one political perspective. I don't care if it's Fox News or MSNBC. Both are propaganda organs, not news sources. Blind confidence. Questioning a fact, then denying any information regarding the fact you're given because you didn't know anything about the fact in the first place. Lack of empathy and complex thought towards your fellow creatures, big or small. Probably reading Reddit. People who confuse their opinions with facts. Trump worship. Reading one of these threads, trying to see if you align with anything that anybody says, so you get a dopamine hit if you don't, or for some sense of superiority. You sick fuck. Arrogance. Has a Reddit account. Eating detergent. Being a Reddit moderator. The inability to recognize logical connections based on evidence. Note this is different than people who refuse to recognize them, and they are often equated. Thinking the subjective intensity of your struggles outweighing another person's in your own subjective view invalidates that other person's struggles and one-upping other people's struggles. Ignorant as fuck. Following Kardashians on social media. An unwillingness to learn something when they don't see how it will directly benefit them. I was reading a book on bioluminescence, below the edge of darkness, for those interested. And someone asked me why I was wasting my time with that. It stunned me. They said they only read books about the market. Basically how to get rich in 10 days. They're still not rich. And still not curious about the world around them. Worshipping celebrities. Agreeing with the majority. Not having their own opinions and perspectives. Blindly believing everything that is stated as a scientific study, never actually knowing who these scientists are and what they study exactly. People talk too much and listen less. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. Absolutism, intolerance of nuance. The inability to navigate a roundabout. Judging people from other times based on today's definition of morality. Thinking that a single simple thing definitively demonstrates low intelligence when there are so many aspects of intelligence and people can excel in one while being deficient in another. Insistence that a college degree is a sign of high intelligence. If you need to refer to yourself as highly educated to explain to people how highly educated you are, chances are you're either a dipshit or an absolute stick in the mud. Like a combination of the two. And nobody else thinks you are smart to begin with, to the point that you need to reassure them you are. Believing in astrology, flat earth, or being an anti-vaxxer. Thinking Joe Rogan is a deep thinker. Both sides-ism. Displays an inability, unwillingness to critically process nuances. Or often raging differences. PPL that insist on being heard without having the capacity to listen. Not listening to every side before coming to a conclusion. Inability to entertain a thought without the need to subscribe to it. Makes critical thinking impossible. Makes dealing with new information threatening.